at the end of the day, who does this child belong to? Identity issues. Yeah. Probably they didn't even have a name. They were given a name in the children's homes. So to which caregiver do they belong to?
How would that affect, a caregiver when you have trauma, but also you have the need to be in a, in intimate relationships?
Relationships that are conditional, love that is conditional, based on performing. You do this, and then you get this. But outside, or when you're connecting with other people, that is what it is. Love is not transactional. Yeah. Another effect can be the trauma bonding. You can get so used to pain, and you can easily be attracted to also an abuser.
Right. Hello and welcome to the Resilient Voices podcast. My name is Charlene Oching, and the podcast is actually powered by KESCA, which is the Kenya Search for Caregivers. And today I'm joined by Grace, who is going to be our psychologist. And what we're going to be talking about relationships, relationships in marriage, relationship as a person, personal relationships, as well as we're going to talk about trauma of caregivers. Like, how do you navigate relationships in as a caregiver, and what are some of the strategic ways that can help support caregivers once they're out in the society and in the community? Welcome, Grace.
Thank you so much, Charlene.
Yes.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you.
My name is Grace Gashagwa. I am a counseling psychologist, practicing, and also a social worker.
Right.
And I'm glad to be here.
Yes. Thank you so much.
I'm looking forward.
Yeah. So let's talk about caregivers, right? In terms of relationships. So there's a problem with caregiver, right? And I know you might be asking yourself, who are caregivers, first of all? And I believe a caregiver is a person, before we answer we navigate through the relationship, is that for our viewers, right, is that a caregiver is a person who has been in a care home, who has been in a home, and in the community. Some of the people call them homes or children's centers, and at a certain time, caregivers do actually need to reintegrate into the community. And one of the problems that caregivers have is navigating relationships, as we can tell. And what I really want us to, I really want to know, and I believe also caregivers really want to know, and also the community, right? How do you navigate relationships? First of all, as a caregiver, and how would you suggest is the best way to go through about meeting or interacting with the community? Because that is how you create relationships and become part of a community, or find a belonging or a community within yourself as a caregiver. What can you say? Like, how should a caregiver go about in that? Yeah.
Thank you, Charlene, for that important question. Like you've rightfully mentioned, although probably I would coin that word to not a problem, but a challenge, for us to be addressing the issue of how caregivers navigate relationships. Maybe it is very important that we also look at what is this that puts them in such a position to begin with. Like you've rightfully mentioned, these are children. Caregivers are people who have been brought up in children's homes, and have left care, what is now known as care. So by virtue of them not being in a family, in their family, means that they navigate through many emotions. And even as I've dealt with them, I have noted that there is the issue of abandonment that caregivers struggle with. neglect. There's also the issue of identity. That is the sense of belonging. And there's also some issues that come up. The issue of depression, anxiety. Yeah, all these emotions are brought about because by the time a child is taken to care, one, probably they have not even been told why they're in care. Remember that their permission has not been sought for them to be in care.
Right.
So they find themselves in care. No one tells them anything. And or maybe if they are told anything, it is scanty information. So they end up just finding themselves there. So let's look at those cares, those children's homes. There's so multiple attachment. Remember, some of these children have actually been abandoned by their own parents.
Right.
That is a primal wound. The being abandoned, being neglected, that is pain in itself. Then they do find themselves now in care, multiple caregivers. What does that mean? These are people who are employed. They come and go because of one reason or another.
Right.
And so there are so multiple attachments, which also leads us to the next issue. So at the end of the day, who does this child belong to? Identity issues. Yeah. Probably they didn't even have a name. They were given a name in the children's homes. So to which caregiver do they belong to?
Now, speaking about some of the problems, you have mentioned that caregivers go through identity issues, trying to find a community, or even how do they belong. But now, how do you navigate that? How would a caregiver, be able to navigate? Now they have already experienced the neglect, the abandonment, but now you're now pushed out to the community. How do you go about that? Because I believe that is a big question that caregivers have of I'm out. How do I start?
Thank you for that important question. One, for you to be able to connect in a healthy way and have healthy relationships, it calls for inner healing. Yeah, inner healing, because like I first mentioned, there are wounds that someone has gone through that has been caused by the circumstances that led to them being taken to care.
Yes.
That has happened in care and even after care. All those are wounds. That is trauma.
Right.
And you can imagine, most of them maybe got into care when they were young. So they are suffering from adverse childhood experiences. So the first step would be recognizing that you are wounded, being aware. Yeah, because the healing journey starts with awareness that I have wounds and I have nothing to be ashamed of because I did not choose this.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Just like we say, you can have gone through the future, the past, but the past does not define you.
Who you are.
Right. But you can have a pathway that defines you later.
Yeah,
you have the pen in your hand. You can now rewrite your story. But first acknowledging and saying, I went through this.
Right.
And I want to heal.
Yeah.
There's no shame in healing. Yeah.
Right.
So you go through the healing, and there are different pathways that different people take to be able to address that trauma. Yeah. But just recognizing it, that I went through this and I need healing, and there's this that I am feeling that is not okay. One thing I say, it is important to acknowledge that it is okay not to be okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
And talking about trauma does not make you weak. It is wisdom, actually. Right. So first recognizing it, and then addressing it, and then being able to say, okay, this is what I feel about all this, just unpacking. And also realizing that you cannot go back to the past.
Now,
Yeah.
You have spoken about unpacking, right? And one of the things, najua tuko na hiyo shida sana. As caregivers, kuna hiyo shida ya how do you stop identifying, as you said, you need to start unpacking.
Yes.
Na ile shida inakuwa with a lot of caregivers is that we there's a need to hold that identity, of a caregiver, even outside within the community, right? So it's inakuja pali you want to navigate, you're navigating just generally, or you're talking to people, or even within the community, but internally, right? Kuna hiyo you still have that your identity yenye umejiekea we peke yako, that identity that has within that you are a caregiver. That means that there's something that you're missing. Ni kama unajitenga from the community, right? So how do you now below what you have already stated is that we need to now start unpacking. How do you do that to unpack ndio uweze sasa to start now healing healing and be able to know this is what I need to navigate the society in terms of like relationship and stuff like that. Like how do a caregiver do that?
Okay, that's great. One of the things that I've talked about is about being aware, being self-aware, being authentic, removing and dropping the mask.
Okay.
And owning your story. Everyone has a story. And what is my story? Taking responsibility and being able to say that this is my story. I am Grace. This is what I went through. But that does not define me. And not being ashamed of where you came from, what happened to you, because by owning your story, you're actually owning your all, the good and the bad.
Right.
And taking responsibility where you need to take responsibility. And the others, you move on by forgiving and looking ahead with a positive feeling, and being able to say that this will not hold me down. Yes, this did happen. Accepting that this did happen, but this does not have to define me.
Now, in terms of saying, umesema like you're supposed to be authentic with yourself, and I hope caregivers can hear this. Is that you need to be very authentic with who you are as a person and own who you are as a person, despite the past. What you have gone through in your past trauma and everything, you need to start being authentic and understanding who you are, right? Now the question is, how would you navigate? Let's say, for example, I've gone outside kwa community and I've met friends, because you go through, you make friends, you are in your workplace, even in your household with your relatives or your guardians, or any person who you might want to consider them as a family, right? So how would you say the best thing as a caregiver, right, is to tell them your story? Would you be saying like that, nikuje nianze kusema hi Grace, jina yangu kwa majina naitwa Charlene, nilikuwa kwa caregiver. Would you say that is the best way for me to introduce myself to you, so that we can create that connection? Like how would you say that? Because they are a lot of quote unquote, I could say, stigmatization, where caregivers start telling their stories, and then there's a block that is created, right? A block that is created where I say my story, and now even when you're navigating into relationships, right, which we're going to also talk about, and also you're navigating through friendships, una navigate even in your workplace. What is the best way to go about identifying or acknowledging who you are? Like what would you say about that? Yeah.
That's a very important question. Thank you, Charlene. Okay, one of the struggles, I want you to twist the coin a bit,
Okay.
and just imagine you have friends, you have neighbors.
Right.
Do they tell you their stories? Rarely, isn't it?
Right.
But one of the things that makes caregivers, someone who have gone through care lived experience, is because they are not comfortable. because you've said all these issues, they have not healed. When you have not healed, you have a low self-esteem. You may have issues of depression. You may have issues of self-acceptance and all that. And that mirrors back to the people. You see, but when you go through the healing journey, where you are able to identify and say, yes, I went through this. It's painful. I feel pained. Own your narrative and say, this is my narrative. I went through it, but I'm looking ahead to want to heal. And then you start the healing journey. And healing pathways are different for different people. There are those who will seek professional counseling. I get to interact with a lot of caregivers, a number of them, on issues of adjustment in society. Being able to see a professional counselor. Others would choose the pathway of belonging to a support group. Yeah, those support groups are where you are able to talk about your experiences without shame. You are able to understand that these are shared experience. I'm not alone. Other pathways would be religion. Yeah, but religion would also be with moderation, so that you also don't use religion to mask. Yeah, but you are able to go back on during those moments that you are feeling down. You are able to connect to a higher power through spiritual practices like mediation, like reading scriptures, listening to gospel music. That also helps to affirm who you are beyond what has happened to you. Taking pathways like also journaling and just being able to put the pain and just being able to say, this is what I went through. This is what I feel about what I went through. But yes, that is the past. Can I look at the future with hope? Yeah? Like I've said, you can use different pathways, but first it has to be with awareness of who you are, what you have gone through, and also recognizing that a part of you, because owning your story is also recognizing that that is a part of you. That childhood that was either abused, neglected, abandoned, hurt is still a part of you. Own it as your story, and then be able to define, do I want to heal, and then move on with a healing pathway that is suitable for you. Some people also engross themselves in hobbies, in walking, in gardening, flowering, all those things, just to be sure that they connect themselves and they get to the healing. Yeah, but definitely healing, seeing a professional counselor is also very good. Continuous connecting with them, with the same lived experience people offers a very good support. For people to be able to know that they are not alone and there's nothing to be ashamed about.
So Grace,
Yes.
We'll be talking about some of the problems that or some of the challenges that caregivers navigate, and one of the big challenge that caregivers do have or sort of experience is the trauma, right?
Yes.
So the question I really want to know, and also caregivers would really love to know, is how do you navigate like this trauma, right? Because you're generally basically navigating, right? You're navigating into the society, but at the same time, there's an issue with relationships, right? Like intimate relationships. How would that affect, a caregiver when you have trauma, but also you have the need to be in a, in intimate relationships with your partner and stuff. How can a caregiver navigate that, or what are the ways a caregiver can go about in that way?
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Great. Now, we can say that we are accepting that there is trauma.
Right.
We've talked about self-awareness. We've talked about being self-aware and self-accepting of what we have gone through. Then it's also good to look at what we also spoke to there before, the effects.
Yes.
So what does this trauma, how does it affect a caregiver in terms of relationships? And how would a caregiver know that this is actually an effect of trauma? So very important is because of the multiple attachments, attachment detachments, they may find it very hard to connect,
Yes.
build very solid relationships because they are very used to relationships that are conditional, love that is conditional, based on performing. You do this, and then you get this. But outside, or when you're connecting with other people, that is what it is. Love is not transactional. Yeah. Love is freely given.
I can add on that is when you say like conditional love, and I'm not sure if some of the caregivers go through this, is where you go through, the conditional love in terms of you might be in your household, right? Like kwa nyumba yako, and for you to feel the need or to feel valued as a person, or for your partner, basically, there's that lazima everything to be in perfect order, right? So let's say, for example, lazima nyumba ing'are ndio niweze kupendwa. And that's what we're talking is sort of you as a caregiver, you don't know where that the behavior, because I what I know is from the past, of the past experience, that what we have learned is that for you to feel valued as a person, certain things had to be in good condition. Sort of inaitwa nyumba ni safi, you have clean clothing and everything, then you are going to get the benefits of that. Now, and then when it comes to now relationship, you're translating the same behavior that you had in your past. Now you're translating into your quote unquote marital household, right? And it's sort of nyumba ikikuwa inging'ara, sasa bwanangu atanipenda ama bibi yangu ataweza kunipenda kwa sababu nimeweza sasa kung'arisha nyumba, nimevaa vizuri, nimeosha vyombo, nimepika chakula changu kimekuwa kitamu. Sasa like everything now is conditional, but you really don't know where it's coming from. And another problem is now your partner doesn't know how to even doesn't know, like you start having issues. You're asking yourself, or as a person, is si nimeosha vyombo, si I did this, si I did that, why am I having a hard time? Why are caregivers, why is my relationship not going the way it's supposed to be? What can you say about that? Like
I like that question because that is awareness that already that is not how it should be. But what may have caused the caregiver to be in that space is because there were a lot of routines, a lot of rules. You had to do this for you to survive in that care, for you not to be punished. But just being aware that I have moved out of that space, and here I am in an intimate relationship, and also calling yourself out and reminding yourself this is not the institution that you are brought up, but this is a relationship. Yeah, but I'll still go back to the same thing. It is being self-aware. And then calling yourself out and saying, love is not conditional, love is not performance, love is free. Yeah. So allowing yourself, once you are in that space of healing, then you can connect. Because first you connect with yourself and then you can connect with others. Just loving you. That much as I went through that care experience, I still love me. I am me. And I have no apologies or no regrets. So accepting yourself can help you move on. Another effect can be the trauma bonding. You know, you can get so used to pain and you can easily be attracted to also an abuser.
Right.
Yeah, you either become an abuser or you can be attracted to that. So when it comes to intimate relationships and you have that, is that you can find yourself just sticking on, for example, in an abusive relationship. Why? You don't have, your self-worth is low. Yeah. You're asking yourself, if I leave this marriage, where am I going to? Yeah. And therefore, you will stick in an abusive relationship. You may end up moving from one relationship to another, not because you are just you have bad behavior, but it is because you are searching for yourself in all those
relationships.
Yeah, in all those relationships. So you may find yourself also not settling in one intimate relationship, but rather moving from one to another. So healing, and healing again is very, very important so that you become whole. And you are not searching for someone else to make you whole, but you are whole in yourself and you're getting to a relationship with all that. And also recognizing that other people have their stories. They have gone through their own hearts. So you go in and apologetically and give your all.
Now, the question I might have is, would you recommend, or not recommend? That's not the answer. The question, sorry, is would you? Is the best option? Will the best option of Jesus?
Just ask.
Let's think about it and pick it up.
No,
It's not a problem.
the question I have is it best to immediately when you get yourself into the relationship, because falling in love inakujanga huwezi jua, right? So not even falling in love, but basically just being in a relationship, you never know. But would you say the best thing ni here's the thing, the question nataka kuuliza ni you get yourself into a relationship, do you talk about your past within that within the relationship immediately, or should you give it time? And if you have to give yourself time, what as a caregiver, what can you do ndio uweze to be able to navigate, kumwelezea, okay, this is because you cannot, because as you said, you get into yourself into a relationship alafu boom unamtrauma bond. Guess what? Nililelewa huku, nilifanyiwa hivi, this is why I'm going, and then it's like, oh, excuse me, that's too much for me to handle. So how would you how can a person like a level like go through that the process so ikwe easy on the caregiver to be able to navigate and also feel safe in this relationship they're into?
Yeah, thank you. Another effect of trauma would be that the people don't respect their boundaries, and that is also what I'm saying coming up. Yeah, the lack of boundaries. The lack of boundaries means you do not go telling everyone everything. Yeah. But rather, you as a person, I'm able to look at Charlene and say, okay, where we have moved with Charlene, I can be able to tell Charlene about where I work or whatever I want to share. An effect of trauma, childhood trauma, is the lack of boundaries. So also that is also something very we need. Someone needs to be very careful about. Oversharing. Oversharing is also, giving so much information in the beginning. It could be that you are seeking sympathy. Yeah. And you are seeking to be so loved and not to be dropped. But we know better that may even cause someone to drop you. Yeah, because when they are saying there are no boundaries, you are over-speaking, oversharing. Yeah. So I would just say still the authenticity, the healing, once it is in place, you can be comfortable enough to say, okay, now I can tell so and so this. Or this one, I need a bit of more time. Yeah. And you will be speaking not from a place of seeking sympathy, but from a place of giving information. With no apologies. It's you are explaining like every other person would say, I come from this village. These are my parents, or my parents separated. Yeah, so you are giving your story because it is your story at the right time.
But it's not your story and you get a sympathy for you to get love.
Sympathy.
To
so that
feel
is
love
also,
or something.
Yeah, so that is something that caregivers also need to look out for, that you're not seeking sympathy, you're not trauma bonding, you are able to come into a healthy relationship. You are not so clingy because you are telling yourself, huyu akiniacha, I don't know where else to go. I don't know who I will be without that.
The person.
Yeah, but also at the same time, you are not too refusing that the person is feeling, this person, I am not feeling.
I could see a gap there.
Yeah.
Because you're sort of you don't want to overshare.
Yeah.
Now if you as you said, to see overshare, but now you're also blocking.
It is a balance.
Umejifunga, and then when you get the window to just pour yourself out, unatoa.
Yeah.
You're just pouring your emotions.
Your emotions and maybe crying.
Yeah,
crying.
now you're speaking about healing.
Yes.
Yeah? Healing. Nataka tu kujua as a caregiver, in generally kila siku, how can you heal? Like what are some what can we do, healing? Because there are many. I know you're going to tell us different types. I want to know how on a daily basis, how can you start healing yourself pole pole, so that you can be able to navigate relationships huku nje, friendships, marital relationships, kila kitu, like even with your colleagues. How do you simple or even you can go from there, like what can we do about what's the healing journey?
Maybe a simple one would be checking yourself. Personal check-ins. How am I feeling this morning? You wake up in the morning, just trace 2 feelings and be very authentic. We'll go back to that. I'm feeling hopeful. Maybe I'm feeling sad. Then tracing back. Why do I feel sad? Then you write them down, still in the journaling. Yeah? In the evening, you can also trace 2 emotions, write them down. After a week or so, you can be able to notice a pattern. Yeah. And you are able now to say, why do I feel sad at this moment? Yeah. But even as you're putting that, if I'm feeling anxious now, being able to trace, Grace, why am I feeling anxious? Yeah. So that could be helpful. Daily check-ins for you. Also, check in with your friends. Connect. Not only with caregivers. Caregivers would be great because you've shared the same experience. There are things you say and they will not be like, what are you saying? They kind of also understand you. But also creating connection with other people, forming genuine friendships. What we've said, the hobbies. Yeah, spiritual practices. Being mindful because even the journey of healing does not mean it will go in a linear. That you'll start today and tomorrow you are perfect, or after a month. You can still go back. Yeah. One time you are in anger, The other time you're in acceptance. And then again, you find yourself that you're back to anger or denial. It is still okay.
Right.
Yeah. The thing is progress. Just make progress. Get in touch with your feelings and be soft to yourself. Speak well to yourself. We call it mindful compassion. Just reminding yourself that any person in this space would also feel like I am feeling. And it is okay that I am feeling what I am feeling now. But that does not mean that I have to stop here. I can make progress. Then doing some small exercises like breathing in, breathing out. That also helps to calm the anxiety, the tension.
Right.
Yeah. So doing those small things will build up to that road, the healing pathway.
The healing process.
Yeah. But don't stop. The thing is, don't stop. Progress. Yeah. And when you cannot, when you feel so stuck, please remember to connect with the others. Please remember that there is help outside. There is help outside. There is help, the professional help that you can seek. And nowadays we are lucky to have spaces that you can get services. Even if healing, still counseling may sound foreign to us.
Ama inaweza kuwa such a big, like in terms of like therapy and stuff. It can be
and also using,
a big hard.
when we stop using those hard words like therapy, like counseling, you can say, I'm going to relieve stress. I'm going to heal my mind. Because sometimes when we use the big terms, counseling, therapy, mental health.
Would you say also finding like close friends that you trust and you can be able to confine with?
Definitely.
And can also be a form of healing?
It can also be a form of healing. Very, very important.
Wow. Thank you. I don't know if you guys are hearing this, but I really, really appreciate your time for caregivers and also the general public to be able to understand, what caregivers go through and also how to navigate, the relationship aspect and also the healing journey. And I really want to say, as caregivers, I think the healing part, as you said, like, being able to daily understanding, being aware, of your past stories, accepting this is who you are as a person, this is your past, and I might add that this is your story. Take it, and be able to start from there.
Yes.
Right. Thank you so
also,
much.
let's remember
that
even listening to this podcast, hosting this podcast and listening to it is also, it's also a healing pathway. It is not just content. It is a movement. It is saying that your story matters. Your story is valid and you can heal. And even you can heal better. Together. That healing is possible. Yeah.
Any final words for to Path Short, or maybe what do you think I did not ask actually?
Okay, my parting shot is that I'm really glad to be part of this conversation. I know it is a long conversation. It doesn't end at this. Actually, it's just an eye-opener. But what I want to encourage the viewers is that while trauma may shape us, let us always remember it doesn't have to define us. We can move beyond and live a fulfilling life and thrive as caregivers. Together, we are better together. Yes.
And how can people reach you?
In terms of my contact?
In terms of contacts, or,
Wow. Okay, thank you. I'll share my contacts. 0722 742603. Thank you.
So I really want to say thank you so much, Grace, for joining us in this amazing Resilient Voices podcast, because I know it's going to help a lot. And also to my viewers, if you want to continue to get more insights, and also for caregivers, even everybody, if you have any comments, suggestions, or even what questions should we ask next, for our guests, I would really like for you to put them down below the comments below, and also don't forget to like and also subscribe to our channel so you can get more videos like this, because it's so amazing, and I'm really looking forward to just have this insight and to be able to help the caregiver community. Yeah. Right. That's a wrap for me. I am Charlene. Thank you.